नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी. Hare Krishna, welcome to the Srimad Bhagavatam class. Today we will be discussing Srimad Bhagavatam first canto, fifth chapter, 34th sloka. एवं निर्णाम क्रिया योगः सर्वे संसृष्टि हेत्वः त एवात्मा विनाशाय कल्पन्ते कल्पितः परे. Word by word translation by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Evam, thus, Nirnam of the human being, Kriya Yogaha, all activities, Sarve, everything, Sam Shrishti, material existence, Hetvaha, causes, The, that, Eva, certainly, Atma, the tree of work, Vinashaya, killing, Kalpante, become competent, Kalpitaha, dedicated, Pare, unto the transcendence. Translation. Thus, when all a man's activities are dedicated to the service of the Lord, those very activities which caused his perpetual bondage become the destroyer of the tree of work. Purport. Fruitive work, which has perpetually engaged the living being, is compared to the banyan tree in the Bhagavad Gita. For it is certainly very deeply rooted. As long as the propensity for enjoying the fruit of work is there, one has to continue the transmigration of the soul from one body or place to another according to one's nature of work. The propensity for enjoyment may be turned into the desire for serving the mission of the Lord. By doing so, one's activity is changed into karma yoga, or the way by which one can attain spiritual perfection while engaging in the work for which he has a natural tendency. Here, the word Atma indicates the categories of all fruitive works. The conclusion is that when the result of all fruitive and other work is dovetailed with the service of the Lord, it will cease to generate further karma and will gradually develop into transcendental devotional service, which will not only cut off completely the root of the banyan tree of work, but will also carry the performer to the lotus feet of the Lord. The summary is that one has to, first of all, seek the association of pure devotees who not only are learned in the Vedanta but are self realized souls and unalloyed devotees of Lord Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead. In that association, the neophyte devotees must render loving service physically and mentally without reservation. This service attitude will induce the great souls to be more favorable in bestowing their mercy, which injects the neophyte with all the transcendental qualities of the pure devotees. Gradually, this is developed into a strong attachment to hearing the transcendental pastimes of the Lord, which makes him able to catch up the constitutional position of the gross and subtle bodies and beyond them the knowledge of the pure soul and his eternal relationship with the Supreme Soul, the personality of Godhead. After the realization is ascertained by establishment of the eternal relation, pure devotional service of the Lord begins gradually developing into perfect knowledge of the personality of Godhead beyond the purview of impersonal Brahman and localized Paramatma. By such Purushottama Yoga, as it is stated in the Bhagavad Gita, one is made perfect even during the present corporeal existence, and one exhibits all the good qualities of the Lord to the highest percentage. Such is the gradual development by association of pure devotees. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जलशलाकया चक्षुरुमिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमा ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्ता स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, dear devotees, we are discussing Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, fifth chapter, 34th sloka. Here, this is where Narada's instruction, Narada Muni's instructions to Vyasadeva. So, he is actually explaining his own personal experience, his own pastime to Vyasadeva. But one may ask the question, okay, Narada Muni is telling Vyasadeva about his pastimes where he was, his mother was a maid servant serving the sages, right? And it is possible for him to understand this bhakti process, and he was able to become an elevated soul. But how about us who are in this material world, who are not in such position? How can we make it practical? How can we make it relevant to us uh, in this way of living? How can we make it relevant to us? That could be one of the question. So, and here in few slokas from yesterday, and also coming forward in another two slokas later on also, the set of slokas explains how one can dovetail the actual activities that we do in our day-to-day life to realize the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, how the cause of the bondage of the work actually destroys the bondage of the work. That is being explained here. Like yesterday, we saw an example where how milk is also used for an upset stomach. Milk is also used as a yogurt, which has some probiotic bacteria and it cures the disease. Like that, how can the cause of the bondage work also destroy the bondage of work? It is also explained in Purushottama Yoga in Bhagavad Gita. This banyan tree, right? Thus, when all a man's activities are dedicated to the service of the Lord, those very activities which caused his perpetual bondage becomes the destroyer of the work. And fruitative work, which has perpetually engaged the living being, is compared to a banyan tree in the Bhagavad Gita. So, this material world is nothing but perverted reflection of the spiritual world, that banyan tree that we can see. But how can one cut the roots of the banyan tree? Only through the action of detachment. So, here it is that imperishable banyan tree that has its roots upward and its branches down, and whose leaves are the Vedic hymns. One who knows the tree knows the Veda, is a knower of the Vedas, but how one can cut it? Only through a detachment. And Krishna has explained this very detailedly in chapter 15, and here it is also reflecting the same. So, as long as we are in this material world, and we are following our dharmic activities, working is the natural tendency, right? But when work is dovetailed, we do not generate further karma and leading to any bondage. So, what is very required here is we need to understand the propensity for enjoyment. We may have this propensity to enjoy because that is our natural tendency, but we can turn that, spiritualize that into desire for serving the Lord. In this way, we keep Krishna in the center of everything we do, and we spiritualize our activities that we do. That will help us not generate further karmas in whatever activities we are doing. And it will definitely help us cut off this cycle of birth and death samsara. So that will gradually help us to become eligible or become progressive in our devotional service to the Lord. We can, when we dovetail our activities to serving the Lord, it becomes karma yoga. So for this, what is important? For even starting to do a bhakti, devotional activities, what is important? Some knowledge is important. And how can that some knowledge be attained? Only with the association of pure devotees. And when we have the association of pure devotees, what happen? We will start to inquire from them submissively. Tadvidi paripraptena pariprashnena sevaya. So when we do the take the shelter of the pure devotees association, we start to serve them, and then we start to inquire about them, through shravanam, through hearing from them. Then we become unalloyed devotees of the Lord. We start to understand our real position, constitutional position of us. First of all, who we are, that first understanding has to happen. I am not the body, I am the soul. That is the first level of understanding. So most of the problem is because we associate ourselves to the body, but we don't associate ourselves to the transcendental soul. Like we need to understand I am not the body, I am the soul. So once we understand I am the soul, then we need to understand what is my relationship with the Lord. Then we understand our constitutional position with a Lord, and then we start to render service to the Lord. And this service attitude will actually, what it will help us to get the mercy of the pure devotees. So when we get the mercy of these pure devotees, then we are able to understand this transcendental subject, and we are able to slowly make progress in the process of bhakti. This strong attachment to here to transcendental pastime is very, very important, right? Because we spend a lot of time, we want to know something. So gaining knowledge is something that we want to do, like either to become a better person in the next day, whatever, like we want to gain knowledge, but what knowledge are we gaining is very important. So this transcendental knowledge will actually help us understand the real purpose of our life, and then accordingly we can make our life progressive. So we spend we are like learning whatever for our professional development or personal development. We learn a lot. That's also important. Okay, fine, for our work purpose or for our personal development. But this subject of understanding Atmanyan is very, very important, because we need to spend consciously our time to hearing this and understanding, and also applying it, right? We first hear from them. When hearing from them, we get washed away from our qualities of rajas and tamas. So then when we get this knowledge, we need to apply this. Then slowly there is progress towards devotional service. The subject here is action. We need to perform our activities. It's not about renunciation. So we need to perform our activities, but also at the same time, how do we make sure the activities that we perform in our day-to-day life is also spiritualized and dovetailed into serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Bhakti Yoga is not about renunciation of work, but engagement of activities in for the satisfaction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whereas not for our own sense gratification. The goal and attitude here is more important. The goal is to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So it's not we do for our own desires. If then like it becomes bhakti yoga is without doing the work, without without any attachment. And understanding that supreme personality of Godhead, and how I want to serve him, I want to love him, and going then gradually progressing towards the prema stage. But of course we start with Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. Then we slowly take the association of pure devotees, and then we progress towards uh, understanding our relationship. And we also know that this realization can happen at three levels. What is the first level? First level is Brahman realization, understanding the Brahman, like it's an effulgence like that we understand, yes, but it's not enough. We need to move forward. That is Paramatma. One, but Paramatma is understanding the localized feature of the Lord, Paramatma, but that is not enough. Then the third one is Bhagavan. But pure devotees and bhaktas who are doing bhakti yoga understand directly the supreme personality of Godhead. So Bhagavan realization is the ultimate. That leads us to bhakti yoga. That one only will actually make us progress towards enabling us to understand, just for not for the namesake of doing karma yoga, but we need to do bhakti yoga. That bhakti yoga will help us actually get a detachment, or destroy the bondage of work. That is very important. And this has been explained in Purushottama Yoga. And when this is made possible, during the present corporeal existence, one exhibits all the qualities of the Lord to the highest percentage. So, we need to understand that through bhakti yoga we can cut the bondage of work, and through bhakti yoga we can slowly make progress towards realization of Bhagwan. That will help us understand how uh, we can do our own activities. We are not stopping anything. That is very important. This is all about uh, action, but we are not stopping the action, but engaging our actions into supreme personality, serving the supreme personality of Godhead. So how do we understand in practicality, right? So we all have food, we all eat, but we can offer this to the Lord and take it as prasadam. We are serving the devotee. We all like to work, but we can offer the fruits of the whatever benefit or whatever income we get, we can offer a certain percentage to the development of God conscious organizations, or we can develop to a bona fide organization where this is like ISKCON, or we can do this by that. We are not attached to the work. And also this the whole entire process of doing activities, we always keep in our mind, how can I do this to serve the supreme personality of Godhead? That loving surface, loving mood, that goal and attitude will help us free from the bondage of work. Thus, when all the man's activities are dedicated to the service of the Lord, those very activities which caused his perpetual bondage becomes the destroyer of the tree of work. Antakalesha mame. So whatever when we leave the body, whatever we think and whatever is our karma, depending on that, our next birth is determined. But that caused a perpetual bondage. But even that can become the destroyer of the tree of work when we keep Krishna in the center of our uh, activities, and then serve the supreme personality of Godhead. So that way we are not we are not doing renunciation, but we are doing our activities with the right goal and right attitude towards serving the supreme personality of Godhead. This makes us become competent and understand the supreme personality of Godhead, and break the bondage of tree of work. And that way, when we leave this body, we know what is we are at least we become aware of what we need to do, and what is our ultimate goal in this life and life after life. Of course, for devotees, It's always to serve the Lord in whatever form and whatever place we are. So that is our ultimate goal. And then we progress this only through association with pure devotees. Only then we can get that bija, that seed can only happen when we take the association of pure devotees and serving them submissively and inquire them shravanam. Then only this process can start, and then slowly, gradually progress further. I'll stop if there are any questions I can take, or if there are any realization.
It is very good, Mataji. So, like association with good devotees and praying the God. So, I mean, what is needed for the soul? You explained very well. And day-to-day activities will go on, but continuously Shravanam and then Kirtanam and all, and continue with our I mean, kind of our group. So in the morning, even though today is a holiday, everyone joined, thank you. But it's like this, we need to continue because of we need to pray the God. That is ultimate happiness. That's the ultimate goal.
Yes.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Yeah, by this we will definitely serve the Lord in a favorable. Anya bilashita sunyam jnana karma dhyanavritam anukulena Krishna anusilanam bhakti rutama. One, by with this, we will start to render transcendental loving service of the Lord in a favorable way without any detachment for any material profit or gains, without any philosophical speculations. This is the beginning of pure devotional service.
Yeah.
So, how my tree of work will be destroyed by serving the Lord?
So we start to develop a detachment, Prabhuji. Like Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita, the tree of work, this can be cut only with the sword, which is a detachment. So
Sword off.
a detachment.
Uh, okay. There is one more thing. How detachment will come? So just I'm serving, but I'm attaching to all my family, all my
Yes.
property and everything. How can I detach? I'm not detaching. So many people are just doing morning arati or pujas and all the stuff. They are serving to the Lord indirectly or directly, but they are not having detachment. They are fighting or they are quarreling between them. How this detachment will come?
Uh, uh, I think we need to understand that our supreme goal is to serve the Guru and Krishna, right? Like when we do
Yeah,
that
how that understanding will come?
by taking association of pure devotees, uh,
Yeah,
that is very important.
yeah. The detachment will come through knowledge.
Through knowledge.
That knowledge will come through association, through book reading, through this one. So that is very important. If you want to become a self-realized person, detachment will not come automatically. Many of them are do sentimental bhakti, like fanatic bhaktas. In mode of tamoguna, they'll harm themselves in the name of bhakti. Somebody um, put nails on their tongue and put hooks on their back body, and they'll walk onto the fire coal charcoal. uh, will they get detachment if they do that kind of bhakti?
I mean, that is again performed in tamas or rajo, right?
Hmm.
Different types of bhakti that might cause further.
Yeah, without knowledge also they do bhakti. They don't
Yes.
have any knowledge, but they are thinking like that by doing such a crazy austerity, that is a bhakti. uh, Sometimes people, so many crazy things in Bhagavad Gita. It is mentioned 16 and 17 chapters. Mode of tamoguna, mode of passion, how people will worship the Lord. Mode of sattvaguna, mode of suddha sattvaguna, how it is. So knowledge is very important. That's why Prabhupada emphasizing so much so this book reading. reading, and attending morning Bhagavatam classes, and taking some Sastric exams like Bhakti Sastri, Bhakti Vaibhava, Bhakti Vedanta. If you deeply study all these things, automatically detachment will come. Whoever came to Krishna consciousness, before they come to Krishna consciousness, they had big dreams. I want to become millionaire, trillionaire. But after reading all the books, they lost the appetite, like Dhruva Maharaj, like Ambarish Prabhu, all these people, they had a big dreams before Krishna consciousness. But once they become Krishna consciousness, they don't have much interest. Why? Because they are detached. So Krishna consciousness means is not a sentimental practice. Okay, everybody's doing japa, everybody's coming and cutting the vegetables. I also cut the vegetables. I also wrap this, wrap that. That is fine in initial state to become a congregation member or to understand what is what. Initially, it will start with some seva or some taste, some prasadam or something. But the ultimate thing is cutting the tree of work will happen only through detachment. That detachment will come only through
Knowledge.
knowledge. So knowledge is very important. Sword of knowledge, that is very important. Without knowledge, in Bhagavad Gita, Chatur Sloka is there. I think Bhagavatam Chatur Sloka. Bhagavatam Chatur Sloka. Our heart is hard knotted with so many attachments. Mm. Those knots, cutting those knots is very difficult. You do not have proper knowledge. Just like Arjuna. Arjuna was so attached to their parents, to their family members, to their cousins. With that attachment, it doesn't have knowledge. They are not bodies, they are souls. We need to, my dharma is I'm Kshatriya, I want to protect the dharma, I want to re-establish the dharma, but it doesn't have that kind of knowledge. But when he take the association of Lord Sri Krishna, he enlightened him. So that's the where all these associations are important. Sometimes associations also will become superficial. Some people will gather just for in the name of devotion. They'll gather. There will be no devotional activity, just simply eating and going, or some games or something like that. So now some lot of festivity is going on. mm. In the name of festivity, just they're eating, mating, marrying, and that's it. There is no reading of the Vedic scriptures in any religion. Mm. In the name of festival, people will do a lot of pomp, but they don't even read one line of the scripture. Then what kind of bhakti will be increased for them? It will not. Any festival or any day or anything means we need to develop the knowledge. Automatically, the serving nature, detachment, automatically it will come. If you do not have proper knowledge, we'll speculate and we will do things in a wrong way. So, this morning Bhagavatam classes, all these things will help us. Sometimes people will think, oh, I'm chanting 16 malas. I know everything. I know everything. I'm the advanced devotee. But this Maya is very danger, like a dog's tail. Until we are associated with the devotees, we are okay. But once the minute we left that place, again this Maya will attack us. Like noctile. If you make it straight, until you hold it, it will be straight. But if you leave it again, the tile becomes this curve. So similarly, this material world is like that. We should not think like that. I'm advanced devotee. I no need to read books, or I no need to come to Bhagavatam class, or I no need to hear any Srila Prabhupada's lecture or our own Guru's lecture. Then that is also Maya. So we should always have a constant association. Then only we'll get that heat, that bhakti heat. So when you go to this iron work people, suppose if they want to make one iron rod into a knife, what they will do? They'll put that iron rod into a fire constantly, and they'll hit the hammer until it become a soft surface. It will become a thin. It will become thin until they'll put in the rod in the fire and heat. So after some time, it will become thin and sharpen. Similarly, if you take it out again, that that will not become soft, or that will not have a heat. Similarly, we need to have a constant association. Mm. So our acharyas are very intelligent. They knows that how a soul can be engaged without attaching to this maya or this material world. Only the way is follow the acharya's package. Morning reading Bhagavatam class. After that, or before that, japa, morning mangalarati. All these things will help us to shield, to not to again attach to this tree of work. So morning we have a dose, right? So that will revive in the mind. Okay, this is not my permanent place to enjoy. This time a servant, I am a temporary person. Let me do whatever I can in this 8 hours or 10 hours job for my livelihood and come out of that and again engage in Krishna consciousness. So that is recommended. Not okay, today is holiday, or today is no work day, or today is this, I'll relax. That is initial stages are okay, but once you advance, we need to have proper intact morning sadhana that will make you progress. Otherwise, it will become harder and harder and harder to practice Krishna consciousness. Yeah, very important. This association, hearing, developing the knowledge, then automatically other things will flow through. With that, we'll conclude here. Any questions, reflections, comments?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes, Vijay.
Very explained it nicely,
Yeah,
Ajay.
come closer to your phone and talk louder, Prabhu. Your voice is speaking, not audible.
Sorry, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Is it better now, Prabhuji?
Yeah, go ahead.
Prabhuji, I have a very nicely explained by you and Mataji. Prabhuji, one question regarding this perverted reverse banyan tree.
Uh,
So this material world is called as perverted banyan tree of spiritual world. So that we learn from Bhagavad Gita. But if you can elaborate a bit and give some examples, why so? I mean, how we can say this is reversed or perverted banyan tree of spiritual world?
yes.
That would be great.
So the perverted banyan tree, Aswatha something. There is a sloka. I think it is in the 11th chapter. So, perverted reflection of banyan tree means, suppose if you go a bank of river, there is a tree next to that river, and there is a shadow and the real tree. Hmm? This material world is compared as a shadow, and the real world is compared to the spiritual world is compared to the tree. So, whatever the happiness we are getting is like a shadow happiness. It's not real happiness, right? So, in the material world, the lust is a shadow happiness. The same lust, if you transform into the love of the Supreme Lord, that is the real happiness. So, in the falsely, Jiva is understanding that shadow is real. Falsely, the Jiva is understanding that shadow is real, and he is trying to extract happiness in the shadow. He's not looking the real tree, and he's not looking how to get to the root of the tree. Mm. All these things the jiva is not looking for. So, in short, material world is like a flickering shadow happiness, shadow work, shadow. These are all shadow will change. If sun is gone, shadow is gone. Or if sun is one direction, shadow will become small. Or if sun is not there, no shadow. So like that is the material world is also like that. Sometimes some favorable situation comes to us, we'll be happy. Some unfavorable situation comes, we'll become sorrow. All these things are like shadow. We should not run behind this shadow. We need to catch the real tree, and we need to cut down all the attachments, and we need to go to the root of the tree. Just to give that analogy. It's not like real Vedas means uh, a real tree shadow. I need to go there and I need to sit there. Not like that. It's analogy, comparison, how this material world and spiritual world are working.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions, comments? Wonderful. Let's thank our grace Lalita Govind Priya Devidasi by giving a wonderful Srimad Bhagavatam class by chanting 3 times Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. We are having a special Krishnamas event in the temple today. Encourage everyone to come and participate. We'll have a kirtan, short discourse, and then a white elephant game where we can exchange a gift through a game. It's very funny game, and we are keeping 2 categories, children and adult. So you can bring $20 gift, which is not breaking any of our 4 regulative principles. That gift is not related to any of that bad things, and you can deposit that gift to the game organizer, and you can participate in the game. And if you want to your kid to be participate in that game, you can bring a $15 gift, and then you can make them engage in the uh, game. So that is one thing. I encourage everyone. It's a community event, and also you can bring some food or some prasadam to serve the community, to share your love towards the community. You can make. The rules are standard. If it is vegetarian kitchen and you are chanting 16 malas, you can bring any grain item. If you're chanting 8 malas vegetarian kitchen, you can bring any fry item. If you're a vegetarian kitchen and chanting 4 malas, you can bring any salads. Others can bring any fruits, nuts, juices, all these things you can bring in the service of the community. So, with that, we'll conclude here. Let's chant Lord Narasimhadeva to give protection. Yeah, this is holiday season. A lot of hackers, a lot of people try to steal your accounts, try to give false deals, false URLs to spread the virus and all. Be aware before you click on any links or any emails. Check properly and then only open those things. Don't fall into that trap and lose your valuable data and personal information. Yeah, with that, we'll conclude here. Let's offer our prayers to Lord Narasimhadeva. Ugram Veeram Mahavishnum Jalantam Sarvatomukram Narasimham Vishnam Badram Mutyur Namamiham. Ugram Veeram Mahavishnum Jalantam Sarvatomukram Narasimham Vishnam Badram Mutyur Namamiham. Ugram Veeram Mahavishnum Jalantam Sarvatomukram Narasimham Vishnam Badram Mutyur Namamiham. Narasimha Bhagwan ki jai, Prahlad Maharaj ki jai. And let's offer Vaishnava prayer. Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Vancha kalpatarabhyasya kripa sindhobhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. भगवान श्री कृष्ण परमात्मा की जय। अमल प्राणम श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। समवेत भक्तवृंद की जय। गौर प्रेमनंदे हरि हरि बोल। Wish you a very, very happy holidays. Safe drive. Take all safety measurements in the during the holiday seasons. Make it more happy. Hare Krishna.